Live streaming.
We are live.
Hey.
Hi, guys. How you doing? And now let me just get in here. Like, see, no matter how much I prepare, I still don't see our live stream, so I can't click on it and see the live chat. It's like it's not showing up for me yet. So let's see. We have 2 people watching. And there we are. All right.
Come on.
You're going to get for your voice for a second. All right. Hi, Julie. Julie's Miracle English School and Vern Family Vlogs and Nick Barrows.
Hey.
How are you guys doing? Thanks for joining the chat. And we are here with Chickery Travels.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello, Chickery Travels. How you guys doing today?
We're great. We spent the day out sightseeing today, so it was a good day.
Yeah.
Cool. Where are you guys at today?
Right now we're in Tampa. We're actually South Tampa on MacDill Air Force Base. They have a campground there for military and retired military people to use, and it is like a couple hundred yards from the Tampa Bay. There's actually a little beach on base, so it's really nice.
Oh my God, how nice.
Yeah, that's great. So you guys, you just go there at no charge or anything, right?
No, there's a charge. But it's cheap compared to regular civilian places. There's a charge, but it's cheap. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Wow. We got a lot of people in the chat already. Like DJ Films, it's like 1 a.m. He told me where he's at. He's in the UK. Wow. But you still made it. Thank you. They came to see you guys. Awesome. I was telling them about you guys earlier. Michelle Verico, Angie, and 3. Julie says you fan here. Julie, you're so great. She's the sweetest thing. I'm so glad that you're here. And 6 and Nick, Sarah, thank you. You guys are great. If Sarah or Nick are moderators, please support our moderators. And Vern, if Sarah or Nick, if you guys could do me a favor and copy Chickery Travels' link in the channel so everybody could follow them, that would be awesome. But let me tell you guys why I have Chickery Travels on here. I mean, there's so many amazing channels. We've been following them for quite a long time. Like as soon as I think we started our channel, we were following them. And you guys at that time, I think had I think if I remember correctly, you had like almost 400 subscribers, which to me was amazing at that time. I was like, oh my God. And you just have blown up so fast. You've gotten so many followers. I
think it's because their channel is so good. I mean, it's so informative and it's done really well.
Yeah, he was really impressed with you guys.
Yeah, you guys are like professional. I mean, the shots that you get and everything.
The drone.
Really, you use a drone, or
do you guys have a drone?
Yeah, we just got it. We just got a drone, and we're learning it.
The drone is cool. The drone is very cool.
He wants.
I want one, but I'd be like flying around my living room. It's boring.
He's sitting in a chair lower than me.
Actually, I'm a lot shorter than her.
We always do this, where you're always like sunk down, where I look like I'm this giant next to you.
She is. She's a giant.
That's what happens to us. Like today, we did like a little mini live on Facebook Live, and so you're holding the phone like really close to you, and my head always looks like 5 times the size of his head. It's not fair.
I know, and then he makes fun of me the whole time.
Wife.
Bird Family, you always do that. Bird Family Vlogs wants to know what kind of drone.
It's a Mavic Air. It's really small. It's probably like the size of a cell phone.
Cool.
Yeah.
I heard the Mavics are really good.
Yeah, I always hear about that too. I keep saying when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to get a drone. And that's actually coming up soon. So you guys make sure you're not subscribe to our channel, subscribe to Chickery Travels. That would be awesome, so that Tim can get his drone.
Yeah, fly around the living room.
Oh my God! But I'm so glad you guys are here, because we've actually been friends on YouTube for quite a long time now. So it's awesome to do a collab together.
Yeah.
So just to tell everybody a little bit about you guys, they're full-time RV travel. I mean, raise your hand in the chat if you want to travel around the United States full-time in an RV.
I do.
We do. So, and they have the nicest RV also. And their channel doesn't just like show the tourist spots, which to me, we were watching even some more today, like the tourist spots, the way you guys cover it.
Yeah.
It's like they should pay you guys for it. And because it's so professionally and detailed done, and you guys like hit on all like the great points. Yep. But they also talk about like repairs of RVs. They're so transparent about the mistakes they made in buying the RV. And I didn't know you guys were not RV. Like you had never had an RV before you even started.
You just jumped in and went for
it. Yeah. It was quite an experience at first, but we had a disagreement on where we wanted to live, so we settled on an RV.
Yeah.
That's cool. You probably learned a lot the first year with the RV, right?
Yeah, and spent a lot of money.
Yeah, and they talk about all this in their videos and stuff. But you guys are both retired military. So I was telling Tim you guys were retired military, traveling full time, but I was lying because you guys were retired military. But then you did work for a while, even in the RV. So it's not. I thought you guys had both quit your jobs and you were traveling, and that was it. But you were. But you both still worked a little bit. You talk about one of your videos in doing that because you watched. I always
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey, who we followed. The only problem is we don't always practice it for like a week.
We need to jump in and do the whole Dave Ramsey thing because it worked for you guys, right?
Well, it's a lot harder when you have teenagers though, because we did it after our kids were out of the house, pretty much. I mean, Justin had just graduated from college and was living with us when we started, so we only had one. But I mean, I can't imagine having done it. They're so expensive when they're teenagers.
Yeah, right? Yes, they are.
Like every activity or whatever, there's like so much, even if it's with the school, there's such a high cost. They need gear, they need clothes, they need certain shoes, whatever. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And our kids, is just, they think, of course, like most teenagers, that it just grows on trees. Just buy us this, buy us that. And although they don't say it like that. Ian's actually pretty good. Anna's a little bit more like starting to get into the expensive stuff. Like some of the stores I want to take her to just don't cut it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, and I want to know because that's one thing I don't know. I haven't seen yet. Maybe you mentioned it in a video and I missed it. But whose idea was it to actually start the YouTube vlog, like to go on YouTube? Because that's like a big decision.
It was my idea, but I made Julie do all the work.
He delegated.
I like that.
So we've been full-time RVing for 4 years now. But the first 3 years, we were both working full-time, remotely. And he had quite a bit of travel that he still had to fly to because the locations would be so far apart. You couldn't like drive the RV, from North Dakota to Florida. So he would still have to fly quite a bit. So last year we made the decision that I was going to quit my job and focus full-time. We also have a website, chickerytravels.com, that has a ton more content even than the blog, the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is like the highlights. And then the website has like all the in-depth information really. Yeah. But so we decided a year ago I was going to quit that job and full-time work on the blog. And I was like, yeah. And then he goes, oh yeah, we need to add a YouTube channel. And I'm like, what? I don't know anything about how to do any of this. So I like very quickly learned it. And for a year, I've been doing that. And he's been helping me out when he can, but he was still working full-time in a regular job and traveling quite a bit. And then finally, just recently, he quit his job. What's it been, a month?
Yeah, about a month.
And he consults 10 hours a week is all he works now. And well, all he works for them. Now he works for me. And our videos are getting a lot better, I think, though, because now he has the time to devote. He got the drone. He's learning how to do like more editing. So I think our YouTube channel is really going to get even better.
Yeah, it looks great already.
Oh my God. I'm telling you, we were in love with the drone shots.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all of it, but like those drone shots, like I want a drone now so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the drone's really cool to play with too.
Oh, yeah. I bet. So thank you everybody in the chat. The chat is like booming. See what you guys bring here.
A lot of people interested.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And everybody feel free to follow each other and talk. I mean, we encourage our YouTube family to connect with each other. So But don't use the sub word, like sub for sub, because it won't, it'll catch it and for some reason doesn't display it. But I know Silisagas, who's joined in, they love your channel because they're like us and want that RV. Yep. But before, because I know that you've shared in one of the videos about, you're very open about mistakes you guys have made and giving tips, like I said, and repairs. But I have a list of questions I prepared.
Okay.
Let's see, we talked about that one. Oh yeah, I think we already covered some of these already. Okay, you talk about in one of the most recent live streams, you talked about what the Chickery Travels business that you speak of. Because I have to say, I was so impressed because, like, you talk about your blog, that it's all started from the blog. Then you went into YouTube, which surprised me because I thought that would be Julie's idea. I didn't realize that's Sean's idea, actually. But I don't know. I just thought it was Julie, maybe because I just communicate with you more. But then you talked about the Chickery Travel business, and you've literally written a book. You're now doing speaking engagements. I mean, you were booming from the RV and YouTube and all that. So how is that? And you even have a blogging camp. So I'm throwing a lot at you right now. So take any one of those and go with it.
It's actually, it's pretty exciting. So when I say, like, I quit my job, I quit my corporate job where someone else was paying me to work. And then I started working for myself, for ourselves, right? And then a year later, now that I had so many things going on and we're starting to see income from it, he was able to do the same thing because we're not debt free yet. When you were talking about Dave Ramsey, we're getting really close. Really close. We think we're going to be there, next March, right? Yeah, March. But that's if we keep, we could have got there faster. So I guess we're not 100%. We could have got there faster if we would have stayed corporate and not gone into business, but we really want to work for ourselves now. So I started, first off, it was mostly me, and I was doing the blog and I was doing the YouTube, but you know how it is. It's very, very time consuming, even just for one person full time, so now that Sean's been able to help me is when I've been able to branch out. So in February, I started Blog Camp with 3 other women that are full-time RVers that are also bloggers. And we started teaching other people how to take, people who have like hobby blogs, or it could even be a business blog, but you've just started it and haven't really gained traction. We're teaching people how to turn that into a business and actually make money from it. And the neat thing about it is the 4 of us women, we're all making money in different ways. So like you said, Sean and I have 2 books, and we now have been booked for some speaking engagements early next year that we're getting paid for. So we're starting to earn income in that way. I have another friend who has an online course that she's earning money for, teaching people how to get remote work. One of the other women who's in the program, the blogging camp that we're doing, they get paid like by sponsors, and they actually got paid by Camping World to go and record like video. They're like long format type commercials. So all of us are earning money in different ways, but it all came out of our blogs.
And then we also, in May, we just finished filming the RV Nomads documentary, our small part in that, which will be coming out in October. And then otherwise, we're just focusing on ways we can branch out, and all in the idea of helping other people who we are. Yeah.
And most of the content is very relevant, even if you're not full-time RVing. But if you just want to have an RV and enjoy the RV, even just for vacations. So the speaking engagements that we'll be doing at 3 different RV shows next year, some people will be interested in full-time, but most of them are geared towards people who also just want to be part-time, because that's the largest market segment of RVers.
Oh my gosh. So, you guys are like so exciting, because that's like the blog thing is like, I think so many of our dreams as well. It's like, I have a blog, but I don't do anything with it. And you've like taken so much and just ran with it and have done so much with it. But Silva Sagas has a question. I think it's for you. It says, Julie, have you ever come across virtual administrative assistant? I think because Lisa is a virtual assistant. So I think that that's another like remote job you can do in an RV.
Yeah, one of my friends that we're in that group together, and by the way, if anyone's interested, just to throw it out there, it's bloggingcamp.com, and we're going to be having a free webinar on August 9th. So if you go to that website, you can sign up for the free webinar, and CAMP is an acronym for important aspects for your blog. But getting back to the virtual assistants, one of the women who is involved in it, she was a virtual assistant for at least a year, maybe two, focusing on Pinterest. And so we'll be talking about that a little bit in the blogging camp about how you use Pinterest to help your blog. And for all of you YouTubers out there, I use Pinterest also for YouTube. And that is when our channel took off. We have, I think, a little over 200,000 views on our YouTube channel. 235. He keeps up with the stats. But half of those, over 100,000, are one video, and it was a video that went viral. I mean, viral in our little small sense. It's not millions, but for us, 100,000 views on one video because of the pin that I did. And I did the pin, and it went crazy, and people were, and the pin, you know how, like, if you're in Pinterest and you see like, oh, cool recipe, and you click on it, and it takes you to a website where people do recipes. Well, I do some pins that go to my blog, but I do pins that come to my YouTube videos too. So people clicked on it and it went to YouTube. I also embed all my YouTube videos in blogs. And if you go to chickerytravels.com and you watch a video there, it still counts in YouTube as a view.
Right. Great. Okay.
And I learned those from my friend who was a VA.
I want everybody to let that soak in, because I have Pinterest and I've heard people talk about how they use Pinterest for YouTube and stuff, but I did like a couple of things, nothing happened, and then I move on. I still have the channel, but I don't do anything. I mean, the Pinterest account, but I don't do anything with it. So you're saying, okay, so you have a Pinterest, and if anybody has questions about any of this stuff, we'll go through. If we missed you, we'll go through and we'll back up a little bit. But so you're saying you set up your Pinterest. It's all Chickery Travels. Yep. And then you just post or upload because I'm kind of dumb when it comes to Pinterest, the picture, and then it has the stuff below it that you fill out, and there's the web link, and some of them are linked to your blog, and some of them are linked to your YouTube channel, and that's where you're getting a lot of these views from.
We get a ton of views from Pinterest.
Yeah. Because, okay, so when you look at your statistics, it'll tell you, I think like 70% of our views now are coming from YouTube. And then it'll show you of those external views. So your other 30%, they come split between Chickery's Travels and Pinterest. But earlier on, before we started getting, because you get promoted by YouTube in like recommended videos when you have more views, right? And so before, we would only have like 30% recommended views from YouTube, and more of them came from Pinterest. So Pinterest is how we got traction. Now we're getting promoted more by YouTube, which is just help us grow even more.
Okay, I've got.
So, I'm going to have a separate. I'm going to have to record. Now that you tell me, if people are interested, so put yes in the chat. If anyone's interested, I will record a separate video where I can show my screen and show you a little tutorial of walkthrough of how you can use. You can take your personal Pinterest account, make it a business account for your whatever your Unapologetically Gomes, Endeavoring Family, any of those people. And then how you can take your YouTube thumbnail and make it a pin, because you want long vertical, but it's super easy to do with a free program called canva.com. And then you upload it. I can do a little tutorial video on that on my YouTube channel to help you guys if you want that.
Yes, you should do a video on that. And then you may have to wind up doing a part of your camp there. Like, I don't know, like in a Zoom, a virtual, where everybody works on it together. But already you're getting yeses. You guys want her to do a video on Pinterest, on how she uses Pinterest?
Like a lot of people do.
I say yes. I see several people saying yes in there. So I think you're going to have to do that.
I'm committed. I'll do it.
I won't be involved in that one.
Pinterest is solely my domain.
He's just going to keep asking about it. Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it?
That's what I do.
Oh, that's what he does. I'll say it nicely and say he's my cheerleader.
That's it.
Yeah. It's funny because when I started this, he didn't know anything about it, but he's always supportive of anything I do. And I started YouTube and then we quit it. When Ian had quit acting and stuff, we quit it, and then we went back to doing it. And this, for some reason, the second time I did it, when I started doing the videos, you're probably not in like the first several videos, and then he just started having fun doing the videos, and now he's like checking up on me. Where are we at today? What are we doing? So now he does ask me. He works too much, so he can't really do a lot, but he asks me about it, and then he's here.
Yeah, I'm here supporting.
Moral support.
Yep.
But that's great. I'm so glad that you brought up Pinterest because I wouldn't even think about it. I remember a long time ago seeing somebody talk about it, but I gave up on it too easy. So I am definitely interested in that video for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then if anybody wants to do her blogging camp, do you have a link that maybe we could put in the
Yeah, it's bloggingcamp.com. And there's a sign up for our free webinar, and our next one is scheduled for August the 9th. But if you sign up for it now, you'll get weekly emails that give little tidbits on blogging.
It's just bloggingcamp.com?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do it right here because I'm not doing it with the HTTP. But I'll also, anything that we do, I'll wind up. Did I just mute this accidentally?
No, we can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Okay. But I'll also put all these links in the description box, you guys. And make sure, if you're not following Chickery Travels, that's the best way, is go to their website, sign up, go to their YouTube channel. You will not be disappointed. You guys have so much going on. So let's talk about the book real quick. You guys wrote a book, or one or two?
A couple books.
Yeah.
What are the names of the books? And is that from your RV travels?
Yeah.
Yes. So the first one is Complete Novice's Guide to Water System Maintenance.
He wrote that.
And it's really how to maintain your water systems on your RV. It's really just a lot of pictures. And what I did was I read all the manuals that come with all the different pieces of equipment that make up the water system, the manuals that nobody ever reads.
Right.
And took pictures and put it together in a book.
And it was stuff that's like really simple to do that we were paying people to do. So that's what he's trying to do. Like on our YouTube channel, we have playlists. So people who go on our YouTube channel, if they hit playlists, they'll see like some people aren't interested in maintenance, right? They just want to see, oh, where did you go? And so we have destinations, we have campground reviews. And I will just also add our campground reviews. At the end of each one, we also give like an overview of the city. It's not just the campground. So if you're thinking, I don't have an RV, but I'm thinking about going to Crossville, Tennessee as our latest, still check out the video because they have cabins you can rent. And then we also talk about the town. But
yeah, you guys talk about all the tourist places and everything that you go to.
Yeah. So the second book, you want to talk about it?
I don't know the name of it.
It's called Full-Time RV Finance.
Okay.
And it is geared towards people who want to RV full-time, but actually even if you're considering part-time RVing or even like snowbirding, they call it when you just go south for the winter, but you live in a home, maybe somewhere up north in the summer. Really there's a section on full-time, but the whole rest of the book is just about there's a section on purchasing your first RV. There's a section on budgeting for full-time mainly, though that one focuses on. There's a section on saving money while you're RVing, and that's applicable to everyone. It's free on Amazon if you have Kindle Unlimited. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's only like $3.99. It's not like a novel. It's a get to the point type of book, but it talks about making money, saving money, budgeting, all those aspects. And I think since we're going to be doing the shows next year, I'm writing a new one that's focused on how to budget specifically for RV vacationing. So it's just kind of a spin-off on the full-time. But the full-time one it's called Full-Time RV Finance, but really there's a lot of content in there that would relate to anyone.
And we self-published them both, which is really easy. And we sell them just on Amazon. So...
And I have that as a question towards the end. I want to ask you more about that towards the end. But you know what I wanted to tell all our viewers here, and I know we have a lot of mutual viewers because we've been connected for a long time in the same YouTube family. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody that's joining. And we have some great Two Chicks crew. Thanks so much for coming. No Salt, BP. Honey, you have to watch their channel. Okay. So we have a lot of, thank you so much, Via Pre for coming, Joseph Vasquez. But the reason also I want to tell them is it sounds like we're rattling off a lot of stuff that they're doing. And it's not like, we're not here to like, of course we want to support you guys and they have all this stuff going on. But one of the reasons I really want to touch on all this stuff that you're doing is because like you're saying, so many of us can do this. Everybody here in the chat, like I think probably 90% of people in the chat are YouTubers. Maybe some of you guys have blogs, Facebook channels, and we do all this to promote our YouTube channel or our blogs, but not very many of us can take something like what you've done and actually turn it into an actual business. And that's what we're trying to share here is how, and it applies to not just the RVs. It's like, you know what I mean? It applies to so many different types of,
it's branching out. It's
branching out. Like, I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but you don't have to be an RVer. You know?
No. Yeah.
The hardest part is just writing the first sentence of a book or, you know, writing your first blog or, you know, applying to be in the documentary. That was all we did was fill out an application. So it's just taking that first step and then it just keeps growing and growing after that. So.
And the follow through that you guys have done, the sticking to it. I'm really impressed. It's like, it's so impressive.
That can be kind of frustrating, obviously. I mean, everyone who's a YouTuber knows it's the same thing with blogging or anything else. In the beginning, it can be kind of frustrating because you feel like you're talking to an empty room. But, you know, if you build it, they will come, right?
I know, like those first few live videos you do, and you're like, okay, I don't have any watching. And then you're like, I have one watching, so, you know, but then we just do it anyways, you know, and eventually, you know, you actually get people watching. We actually have well, we had 13, now we're gonna have 12 watching. So, but we've had a lot of people coming through, which is great.
Up to 18.
Yeah, and Manji Housewife, thank you for coming. JG Blue Kush, thanks for coming. So make sure you guys, if you want to do her blogging camp, I mean, they have a lot to share here.
I have questions about the RVs. I mean, what advice do you have for anybody? Like, we don't have an RV, but someday we'd like to get an RV. So, you know, for somebody who wants to buy an RV, what would be your basic advice to them?
First thing I would do is rent one and see how you like it. And you can rent almost anything now. So you can rent a Class C, you can rent a Class A, you can rent a travel trailer, you can rent a fifth wheel and see which one works for you. We did not do that. No. And we ended up with an RV that's really too big for us now. So the first thing I would do is rent, and then I would go to whatever RV shows you can go to and go inside every RV you can get into. And
we did do that.
Yeah,
and
we did
We did that for a couple years, actually. And that's pretty neat. And at an RV show, it's not like they're going to kick you out. So I go in and plant my behind down the seat. I want to sit there for a while and say, is it really comfortable? You know, because when you just walk in and sit down once, you might go, this is nice, but sit there for 30 minutes. And you'll also get a little air conditioning, you know, or something.
And then YouTube is another great resource for hearing people like us say what our experience has been. And that's really helpful. I mean, everything we've learned on YouTube will definitely apply to the next time we get a new RV. We'll definitely take in a lot of advice we've heard from people in the YouTube community.
And another thing is, like, what are you going to use the RV for and how often you're going to use it kind of drives what kind you want to get. Like, he threw some terms out there like Class A, Class C. So the Class A is like the big drivable one that's really tall. The Class C is that drivable one that's got like the bunk over the cab. It looks like it's built maybe on a van or something, you know, a truck chassis. Then we have the fifth wheel that has the big hitch that goes in the back of the bed of the truck, where the travel trailer is the one that you just pull on the bumper, you know. But it's all like all of those are different price points, obviously, and then it's also like how you're going to use it, how often you're going to use it. In the full timing RV community, it's like how fast of a traveler are you? We like to stay places a month, 2 months, sometimes even 3 months before. I mean, we've been full timing for 4 years, and we have only been Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. No, we made it to Texas.
Yeah,
we made it to Texas. That's so far, and that was just this last year. The first 3 years, only really Southeast. So now next year we're going to be out in California and the Pacific Northwest. But so we're slow travelers. So a fifth wheel is really great because you have these tall ceilings. It's like an apartment. You've got the bedroom is upstairs and a separate door. So a fifth wheel kind of gives you more of a homey type of feeling. But I hear people who travel often, like every week or 2 weeks, they want something a little smaller, more agile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the one that I want when we do it, when we hit lotto, is I like the ones like you're saying with where you're pulling it. I think that's what you guys have, right?
Yeah.
I thought I saw your one because I like that you're able to park it at the RV campground, and then you have your vehicle to drive to the store or to go tours, and you don't have to take the whole thing with you everywhere.
So you guys actually have the truck, and then you tow the RV, and then you have another vehicle that you tow behind the RV, right?
Well, we did. We got rid of that. That was only the first year.
We saw that in your picture, and Tim's like, "Oh my God, you have to be really
it was like
driver.
a train. You're driving a train.
We also had a Harley for a while that we towed around, and we sold that a year and a half ago.
Because our RV is what you call a toy hauler fifth wheel, so it has a garage.
Right. So you could drop that.
Drop down ramp, and you can drive the Harley up in it. But we sold that because every time it was so long in between times that we would ride it because we're kind of spoiled, right? So it was too hot, too cold, whatever. Because we want to wear all the gear too. We're going to wear a helmet, a jacket, and all that. So it'd be like it's too hot, and then I would say it was too hot. Then he would say it was too cold. When we pulled it out when it was just right, the battery would be dead because it was too far in between. And after like the third time that happened, we said, we're carrying around a lot of weight of something we're hardly ever even using. Let's just sell it. And so we did.
Oh, so you sold it.
Yeah.
My friend Julie Frito in the chat, that's my best friend, another Julie. She says her friends are RV YouTubers as well, and it's nice to see everybody enjoying the beautiful country, and which is nice because you guys are showing like everything in the United States, which is really great.
And we learn stuff every time. Like today, we learned historic facts. Last week in Tennessee, we learned that there was a German POW camp in that town, and that the uranium enriched for the Little Boy bomb was in Tennessee. I thought it was at Los Alamos. So, I mean, we're learning so much about our country.
Well, that's cool because you guys spend a lot of time, like you said, you don't travel fast. You stay in one area so you can learn everything about that area before you move on. And
we try to, yeah.
It shows
that's the best part of it.
The videos are so informative that you've done a lot of homework.
Oh, yeah, he was so impressed with your videos.
Yeah. We're nerds. So.
I have one thing I want to just interrupt our broadcasting for a moment. Well, first, let me read this comment. Colorado Martini, who's going to be on here next Sunday. So you guys make sure you connect with Colorado Martini. She says your live stream looks really good with the new format. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I want to just real quick because I did a live stream Friday, and with an author that wrote this book. So I know this is completely off topic, you guys. I just have to do this real quick because I know it's really late back east. And we gave away one of these books to somebody in the chat. I only had one autographed book to give. The author had signed it right here. But he was so nice that he wanted both people who won to have a book. So he chose to give one to the first winner. And so the runner-up, Sarah, from Six in the Mix, you get this book. So I'm going to be sending this to you, and hopefully the bracelet. I hope I didn't lose the bracelet that goes to it. So I just wanted to shout that out, Sarah from Six in the Mix in the chat. You actually won this from the live stream on Friday, so I'm going to get that out to you.
That was a good interview, by the way. That guy was pretty interesting.
He was really interesting, right? And I'm very impressed with him because, like you guys, it's like the I feel like that follow through on the books, on his second book and everything, is impressive. But Sarah, I know you can use that book too with your kids, so you'll be reading that. So sorry to interrupt on that, to go off topic, but I almost forgot, and I was like, wait, before I forget, I better tell her before she goes off. You know, on my questions, because I know we talked about Dave Ramsey a little while ago, and you talked about FI. I don't know if you want to tell everybody what FI is. And I love the way you talked about how I never thought about it being different for everybody.
And actually, I think one of the things that you're referring to is I just shared on our Facebook page that our oldest son, Richie Greer, started a blog and a YouTube channel called F Lifestyle, because he said he could talk about the F word all day, which is finance. But yeah, and it's effective finance and frugal lifestyle. And we are so proud because obviously he's been listening, right? I mean, you go for a lot of years when you wonder if what you're saying is sticking in their heads. And so now our oldest son is really running with the Dave Ramsey and a bunch of other people that he follows. And he wrote an article about financial independence, which is something that we have been talking to him about. And we agree with him that financial independence really just means being able to do what you want to do with your life. So that might be retiring early or not. Like we chose initially when we started full-timing to continue working because we had goals of being debt-free and then putting more weight towards retirement since we're a little bit older and retirement's, you know, closer. So, you know, you decide what it is for you and you decide how frugal or not you want your life to be. And I used to be in a Facebook group. I'm not going to name the name of it, but it did have frugal in the title. And I joined it because I feel like we're fairly frugal travelers. But I was like Facebook shamed all the time by these people. Like, we're not frugal enough because our RV is 44 feet long and has a bathroom in it. We're not like going to the bathroom out in the woods or something. So we're not frugal enough, you know. I was crazy how people like to shame you. So we were like, okay, fine. So that's why we really like to say, yeah, financial independence is what it means to you. Yeah. Frugality.
Because I never thought about that. I always thought, and you guys can tell me in the chat if you thought the same thing. I always thought financial independence meant that you were wealthy, that you didn't have to work anymore. That's what I had embedded in my head, you know, that you didn't have to work anymore. And so when I saw your video and you were talking about financial independence and what it means to you, it's true. It's like everybody's different. They may not want to be rich, wealthy, and never have to work again. They may want to work part-time because they like what they're doing, or they may want a big expensive house, or they might want just a cabin in the woods and, you know, be able to retire out there. It's just different. And you're right, you know, and it's funny because when you're talking about being kind of shamed or whatever in that group and stuff, that's one of the reasons I wanted to just say this also, Unapologetically Gomes is called Unapologetically Gomes because it's always to be, some people can take it the wrong way, but it's really just to be unapologetically you, whoever you are, whatever you want to be.
Yep. And there's no shame in it.
There's no shame in it. I wish we were financially independent, but we're not yet. So
as long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
That's right.
And that's the other thing though, Marie, I loved following you guys from the beginning. Like when we first started our channel, I got involved in, I think a family-friendly YouTube group, I think is how I found you. And we've always supported each other. But one of the things like I've loved about you and your family is that it like totally comes across in the channel that you're this happy family. You enjoy spending time together and you're not afraid to be you. You're not like acting. It's you, it's real. And so I love that.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like, you know, you guys are living the life that you want right now. I mean, you're getting this awesome pool. Like, no matter what you have, you're going to want someone else's. I want a pool, don't I? Yeah. I always tell Sean when we are finished with the RV, you can pick where it's at. It's got to have a pool. That's all.
Right. You know, I mean, yeah, we're doing so much right now. But that's one of the things we waited a long time to do. So
we waited a long time and now we're finally doing it. We can't wait.
Yeah. I can't wait till it gets done. But then when you guys come out to California, you're going to have to stop by and join us in our little pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to come see your pool and you'll have to come see our RV.
That's
Definitely.
right.
I want to
for
see
sure. for sure. That would be awesome. Okay, so we talked about financial independence and and you already asked that. You jumped ahead of me on this question.
I'm a jumper.
Advice for someone who wants to buy an RV.
Because I want to buy an RV.
Okay, so that goes with that. We're kind of doing this all out of order, but that's who we are, right? We're just all over the place. Advice for someone who wants to do full-time RV living. Like, there's one thing about buying the RV. Like, we want an RV, but we don't want to do full-time living in it. I would love to just get like 6 months and I would love to take 6 months and go across the United States in it. It's probably not going to happen for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to just have it to go periodically, you know, on. But there's a lot of people like the Silva Sagas who were in here a minute ago. I don't know if they're still in here.
I think they want to do full time.
They want to do like what you're doing. They want to like live full time in the RV. What kind of advice do you have for people that want to do that? Like, how can somebody make it happen, do you think?
The first thing I would say is develop your patience, because like one thing that's really hard when you're on the road is internet. And Julie was used to high-speed internet, and we don't really get high-speed internet in the RV. So
you don't really realize how much the internet is a part of your life until...
Especially when you're a YouTuber and a blogger.
Yeah.
I mean, because we grew up in a time where we didn't have internet. How did I get so hooked on it?
Yeah.
So you got to think
Slower.
Think slower, yeah, and plan ahead, because like we spent all afternoon yesterday at Starbucks because we had to upload a new video, and we used up all of our time on our hotspot, so it wouldn't upload the video from here. So that's the primary thing I would say if you're interested in being full-time, is consider things like how dependent you are on the internet, cable TV. If you're a TV watcher, that's extremely difficult in an RV. And then I don't know.
And then there's all kinds of logistics, like how are you going to get your mail? How are you going to get?
That's what he was asking the other day. He wanted to ask me. I'm like, mention that.
That's the first thing I said is, where do you get your mail?
Yeah, so we do have on our blog, chickerytravels.com, there is a section under RV resources that says like learning to live in an RV. And we actually read a book called So You Think You Want to Be a Full-Time RVer. It's like an Amazon book. It's like only $14. And it had like all those details, and it's really good because like some people, there's mail services that you can pay like a monthly fee, and they get your mail. And if you want, you have different options. They can hold it for you, and when you get to a campground that accepts mail, then have it forwarded. There's even some that'll like scan your mail. We have a really good service. Chickery's, Sean's parents. Sean's parents are so nice.
They get all of our mail, and they'll tell us if something important comes. And like if we get medications, they'll mail them to whatever campground we're at. So yeah, that's a tough thing. And also healthcare. You got to think about healthcare too.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we're back in Tampa right now, is we're getting some work done on the RV, and then we are getting our annual health, our medical appointments, and
dental
and all that stuff done while we're here, since this is really where our physicians are at.
Yeah, so we can go to the emergency room and stuff in other places, but you know, to see your regular primary care provider, we chose to like come back here pretty much once a year and get that taken care of. But some people I've heard, there's like different health insurance programs that don't allow you to be seen necessarily in other states. So it's a consideration, but I would definitely recommend at a minimum reading that book. And on the other end, if you're the course type person, we also recommend a course of people we know. We actually interviewed them on our YouTube channel, but the article is like Learn How to Live and Travel in an RV Full Time, I think. And they have a course that you can take, and it's an online course, and it walks you through everything from health insurance and mail and all those logistical details. But you know, if you're cheap like us, we just got the $14 book and, you know, went with it from there.
And I want to come back to the books that you guys did, because that always interests me, on how you guys got those published and everything. But that the health insurance, I never even thought about that, because it's true. So many of them have like the HMO or the PPO. That is really difficult.
We're lucky that we're both disabled veterans, so we're able to go to the VA, which is national, but we still keep our primary care provider here in Florida. But in a pinch, we could go to any VA, really.
And we have actually been to the, like, aside from the VA here, we went to the VA, and you had to go in San Antonio. I had to go in Washington, D.C. And I just want to put a little plug, because you hear a lot of bad things about the VA on TV, but everyone that we've been to, I mean, all the people who worked there were like so nice and went out of their way. We were always able to be seen right away, not for emergencies either, just routine things. We were able to be seen right away, and we have received amazing care from the VA. So I just want to, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but everywhere we've been so far, we've had wonderful experiences. And
they also have a program that's for people that travel like us. So
traveling veterans.
They call it traveling vets. So you can go to any VA really and be seen. So that's been really a blessing for us. But we know that it's not the same for everybody.
That is really good. And that's something that people have to think about if they're going to want to do full-time RV.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And can anybody post Chickery Travels link in the chat? That would be awesome. Make sure you guys, you know, go follow them. You will love their channel. But the book, when you guys talk about the book that you guys wrote, how did you, I know you kind of mentioned it that you self-published, but like, I don't know, like so many people don't have a clue. Like you think of a book, and I bet you so many people in the chat could say they want to write a book, but where do you start? Where did you begin from, and how did you follow through? And did you just think that self-publishing was best for you guys, or did you think about publishing through an agent or a publisher or anything like that?
Well, I think first we didn't think any publisher would be interested in our books.
Yeah.
So
we were small potatoes.
So we that was the main reason why we self-published, and then it's really much faster. So like with the full-time RV finance book, Julie wrote it, and then I have a program called Scrivener, which you can download. I think it's like $50, and that really contains all the tools that you need to self-publish.
Like formatting, because I wrote it in Microsoft Word, and the reason why I wrote it is because I was starting to have so many blog posts related to financial issues of RV travel, right? Like how to make money when you're traveling, how to save money when you're traveling, how to budget for travel, you know, and stuff like that. And I started having so many blog posts. I said, I'm going to put this all together in one easy to find, logically sequenced, you know, thing. So I wrote it in Microsoft Word and then gave my thumb drive to Sean. He put it into Scrivener. And what formats did it do?
It did, like for print, it'll format for print. It'll format for Mobi and all the other electronic formats. And then we paid somebody like $15 on Fiverr to design the cover for us.
Yeah.
I hear that Fiverr does. You can get like logos and things like that from Fiverr.
So they designed both of our covers actually.
And then he just went on Amazon.
Then I went on Amazon and Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, and uploaded it.
I'm writing notes.
And then it
like within a couple days,
they review it and then they publish it. And then it's print on demand. So if we have it in ebook, and we also have them in print. So it's two different formats. The ebook you have to upload in one format, and then the print version you have to upload in another format. Again, all taken care of by Scrivener. And then you when somebody orders the ebook, goes electronically to them. And if somebody prints it, then Amazon prints it on demand. And then we get, I think it's like 70% of the sale price in royalties.
And the beauty, another reason why we decided to go with self-publishing on these books is because they're very short books. Like I said, they're not like a paperback novel you might buy at the checkout. They're like, what, 300 pages? Our books are like less than 100.
Yeah, about 90. About
90 pages, right in there. So they're pretty short and just like on a very narrow subject. So self-publishing like that is just a really easy way. It condensed a lot of blogs, but in terms of a book, it's actually very small. So it's an easy way to do that, where I think a regular publisher, they want like a more
meaty,
book.
I think that's a really good idea for people watching this too, that because a lot of YouTubers have blogs, and like if you're talking a lot about a subject, a lot about a subject like that, it's another great way to try to monetize yourself and monetize your blog by putting that in a book like that. That's really good information. Now, you said it was Amazon Kindle. What was it?
Kindle Direct Publishing.
Direct Publishing.
Mm-hmm. And then like the other thing he said is, so like the book price, you can set it, but we just kind of looked at what other people are selling them for, and little small books like that usually go $2.99, $3.99. But the other thing is, if you go on there, you'll see that it's free for Kindle Unlimited. But we actually still get paid, because what Kindle does is somehow tracks how many pages people read on Kindle. Like I personally have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, and I read a lot of fiction books from Kindle Unlimited, and the authors get paid. Like we get paid based on how many pages people read. It's like something.
Really?
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I never would have thought about that. What snoops they are.
They're watching.
Followers, it's free for you, and it helps us, so it's a win-win, right?
And even if you think nobody's going to read your book, people read it. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah.
The hard part is getting reviews.
That just makes me think of, like, if they're monitoring how many pages people read, it makes me think of YouTube and views, how the percentage of the view that they're watching. It's like they all are monitoring everything we do.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's like when you Google something and then you're on Facebook and you see an ad for what you Googled. You're like, they're watching me.
Right? I mean, sometimes I'm not even on Google doing it. I might just go buy something from, I don't know, like Eddie Bauer or some clothes, and all of a sudden those are all the ads coming up. It's like they watch everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's fantastic that you're doing all that. You're just like this multitasking, doing everything. That's great. So here's a question for you. And let me just say hi to a couple more people here. Hi, Life of Grace and Logan. I'm so glad that you're back. Thanks for coming back. And again, you guys, I'm just going to do a real quick roll call here. The people watching, Nick Barrows, No Salt BP, Six in the Mix, Colorado Martini, Iced Rose. And here's a new one. I don't know this person. Romney. I don't know that person. But hi, thanks for joining. And I don't know if I'm saying this correctly. SIMH Cooking. Thanks for coming. And you guys, and Cole Nicole. Hi, Cole Nicole. Feel free in our chat. We completely support people supporting each other.
Does anybody else have questions?
Just don't use the sub word. So feel free to support each other. We are all about supporting each other. And do you guys have any questions for Chickery Travels? I have a couple more questions here, but I don't want to dominate everything.
We don't want to be the question.
I know. I think some of these people I know had questions. So feel free to throw out questions, and we'll read them on here for you, and mention your channel, who you're from, asking. So feel free. But while we wait for that, I do have one question of what – you've been to a lot of places in the United States doing your tourist travel videos, which I love them too, because they're not long, they're easy to watch, they're very engaging.
I think it's genius too, because and that was like my favorite show years ago. Was, remember who was it, Chuck Henry? That's all he did. We would travel around and you'd see all the cool things, all these different places. And make you want to go there. And I was like, you guys are doing that.
Right.
And we actually still watch things like that. Like I love Rick Steves. I watch him all the time, and but of course he's mostly overseas traveling, Europe especially. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's like the best job is traveling.
Yeah, for sure.
You made it your job, which is great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no one wanted to hire us, so we decided we'll do it anyway.
So what has been your favorite? I mean, because you've been to a lot of places, so can you narrow it down to one? Do you have one place that like stands out that you're like, you know, hands down,
you have to go to this
is the favorite
campground
place,
or this spot?
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. Washington, D.C. is
Oh, well, we definitely love Washington, D.C. And, you know, it's funny because a lot of people don't think of camping in Washington, D.C. So I will say we try also to have videos just for travel in general for people who aren't camping. But a cool thing is if you're thinking about camping and you don't have an RV, a lot of the campgrounds we stay at also have cabins that people can rent as well. So that's pretty cool. But we definitely love Washington, D.C. Because there's so much free stuff to do. It's kind of expensive to stay there, even in an RV or in a hotel. But there's so, like, all the Smithsonian museums are free. So you can go to all these, like, incredible, I mean, multimedia museums that are just fantastic. And every single one of them is free. And there's a lot of great hiking around there. I mean, there's a lot to do in Washington, D.C. So that's definitely a highlight. And a place I'll have to add that's not, we didn't go in the RV, obviously. You'll know why when I say it in a minute. That's one of my ultimate favorite places we ever went was Hawaii, the Big Island.
That's his favorite, the Big Island.
My favorite is the Big Island.
It's a little rough right now, but
it's getting bigger.
Yes. And then I would add one last place that we didn't go in an RV, but we've been there twice, and we stayed in a cottage, is the coast of Maine.
Oh, gosh.
Just beautiful country up
we
there.
want to go in the RV, but it was pre-RV days.
Yeah.
The company I worked for had a place you could rent dirt cheap as a perk, and we loved it.
He did. He worked on a movie in Maine.
I've
gone to most of the places but this is one I didn't go to.
Was it Bar Harbor or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were only like an hour from Bar Harbor. Yeah.
And Pfeiffer, was it, or who was it?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Message in the Bottle. That was in Maine.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
But we have so many places on our bucket list. But the thing is, because we like to take our time and like really enjoy it, it's going to take us a while to make it through that list. Like we're just now next year, we're going to be going out west. Now, luckily, because of having been in the military, we've spent time out west, you know, so we don't have to do everything because we've seen some of it, you know, already. And we love Las Vegas. That's another place, even from pre-RVing days. But
That's me too. I love Las Vegas.
Yeah, we're spending the whole month. This time will be the first time in the RV. Every other time we actually got married in Las Vegas
on the Strip.
Oh, funny.
And we go back almost every year.
We spent our anniversary there, so we used to go every year just because we went for our anniversary there.
One of the first videos that I watched of you guys was in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, I remember that. But I actually just booked our reservations. We're going to be staying in the RV for like the whole month of February in Las Vegas.
Very cool.
We called ours the Vegas Sagas because it was just not the trip we were planning on that time.
But Ian can't wait to go back to Vegas.
Yeah, he loved it.
He loved it. He's hooked.
He loves all that stuff. The Life of Grace and Logan's vlogs, they're actually in Hawaii. So she says not a good time to go to the Big Island. She's in Oahu. So she has talked about what she sees from there and stuff, but they're in Hawaii. But the one thing, too, that I think is great about your channel, and I'll share this if anybody's still listening to us, travel videos get the longest views. Like I noticed in our statistics, because when we first started this, we were doing a lot of weekend travels. Right now we're not because, you know, the house mess and everything and the pool, but we were doing a lot of 3 and 4 day weekends. And all those videos, I noticed when I would go through my statistics, literally in the beginning, they had like 100% view. Because like, you know, when you look at a video and it'll say, you know, the average of this video is 30% or 20%. And you're like, you know, why aren't is anybody watching this video? But the travel ones, almost all of our travel ones had like at that time 100%. I think they've dropped down a little bit now because, you know, more people have watched them. But I think because travel videos, when people, and I don't know if that's how you grew so fast, being that that's primarily what you did, but so many people, like when they search for things, like if they search for Las Vegas, a certain hotel or campground, your stuff's going to pop up. And then they want to watch it because they want to see what you visited or how this was. And so it does keep, I don't know, what you call engagement, the engagement. Sean, you would know the word I'm looking for. I can't think of the word, but you know.
Right.
And retention.
Engagement.
Like, and the retention analytics, yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because so for us, the retention is high on travel videos. The views are lower than like our RV how-to. Same thing with maintenance. So with his maintenance videos, the views are lower, but the retention is much higher. So what that tells us is the people that are watching those are very interested in that subject, but it's not like the mass appeal subject. Our one video that has like the 100,000 views, you know, half of all of our views was last year. This time last year, we had our 3-year anniversary. So our full-time RVers call it Nomadiversary because we're nomad. And we did a video called, for our 3-year Nomadiversary, 3 lessons learned and biggest regrets. And that one has it has decent retention. I think it's maybe 65%, but it had the most views and got us the most subscribers. And our videos that continue to have the most views are more like specific, like how to full-time RV. But the ones I enjoy making the most are the travel ones. So we're still going to continue to do those. And I think it's a specific angle towards travel, they do better because our campground review ones do get, you know, like 800, 1,000, sometimes 2,000 views, and we'll merge campground and travel, right?
Yeah. So the way YouTube changed it's for going from views to hours, probably that works out better for that for sure then.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
For us, when like I was saying, those travel ones, which we don't have a lot of them, but those ones had the engagement. But the ones that get the most views on our channel, being a family vlog, is all our haircut videos. So that's why I would separate those out of everything.
I don't have anything
and
left
the shaving
to cut.
head. I can't believe that his shaved head is still getting views on it.
Yeah.
Ian's pierced ears. Those ones, like you're saying though, Julie, they get the highest views, but not the longest engagements. But the travel ones, we don't have, like, I don't know if any of them are even 100 yet. Maybe they're past 100 now, but at least they watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they like watching me shave Tim's head.
Yeah, and they like watching him color your hair, right?
Right. No, you know what? For some reason, that one started to get a lot, but it didn't. It started.
I gotta color her hair again because my beard's getting.
They still like his shaved head. Yeah, that one, and that's probably our favorite video, but it didn't take off like we thought it would. But that's probably because we just were hysterical. That's why I decided to turn it into 2 videos. I had to take everything that we didn't use and put that in a whole nother video for outtakes.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, I need it again. See.
Yeah, I had a question about the RV campsites. Because like she's always like, let's go camping. I'm like,
but my camping's not camping. My camping's in the RV.
Camping has changed. There was a time when you could just go camping, but now people, like, especially here in California, you have to book campsites like 6 months in advance. I mean, it takes a lot of preparation you can't just go out and go camping on a weekend. Yeah. You have to book a site in advance. Yeah, how far in advance do you guys, book all your stuff?
Well, Julie does most of the booking, and she's a big planner, so that's a good job for her. And normally, like, we're already booked through February, I think, all the way through the month of February. And some of those are it's tough to get into them even now, because a lot of places you can book up to like a year in advance. And so when we were going for July 4th weekend, we were the weekend before. Sometime like before that, our oldest son got married, and she said, well, where are we going to go after? And I said, let's not worry about it now. Let's just pick a place when we're ready to go. And about a month out, we could not find a place to go.
Right. And that comes back to the question you asked about what kind of RV too, because we are more limited because we have a 44-foot long fifth wheel. And it might not sound big to you, but in the RVing community, 44 feet long is very long. It's considered, they call it a big rig, right? And not every campground is big rig friendly.
Right.
So it limits where we can go. And then we're also kind of spoiled. So some people call us full hookup snobs because
full hookup snobs.
Yeah, because that's what they call those of us who like to stay in campgrounds that have power, water, sewer, often a swimming pool, a fitness room, Wi-Fi. I mean, that's what we want. Yeah. That's our preferred kind of place. So we're kind of like urban, like don't even put the word camp in there, right? It's not really, campground, but occasionally we'll stay at a place that's a little more campy, but those are like to break it up. Our long-term stays where we're going to stay a month or longer, they're going to be in a full hookup campground. And so, and if they're in a desirable place, like I just booked Tucson, we're going to be in Tucson for the second half of December and all of January. And they only had a couple spots left. I just booked that last week and they only had a couple spots left.
That's our problem just with normal travel. Like we're going to San Francisco next month and I was lucky to get a hotel because I want to be a planner, but it's just so hard. And to get him to make a decision with his job too, being in the studios and the movies, they never really know when they're going to wrap.
You don't really get time off. You have to take time off, and then you don't know when you're going to get another show. Right,
and then it's like, they don't like, and then they don't like it when you take time off. But like they're wrapping up soon, and he doesn't, and they'll say they're going to wrap this day, but then they don't wrap till the next week or something. I don't know.
I think somebody has to go to the bathroom,
and the kids aren't here. So I'm going to mute this for a second so I can do a loud whistle. So I can yell at the kids real quick. How do I do that? Oh, right there.
I love that with no sound.
Sorry about that.
Did she mute it?
Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome. I said seeing her do that without, and then you.
It was loud.
Well, I don't know where the megaphone went. The dogs need to go out. Sorry.
It worked. It worked apparently, huh?
Yeah.
We used to be able to throw them in the backyard, but because of the pool going in, we throw them in the backyard right now. So the kids have to leash them up and take them for an actual walk. And Fudge will just not stop licking his elbow until somebody takes her out. Yeah. The dogs don't go to the kids. They come to us. It makes
me have to go to the bathroom.
They come to us because they know the kids are just going to ignore them.
Yeah.
But anyways, what was I saying then? I was saying something before Fudge and
getting into San Francisco hotel.
Oh yeah. So everything was like booked up, and we can't do Alcatraz. I wanted to do Alcatraz really bad, but apparently that's booked up all through practically the rest of the year. Everything now is just booked up so far in advance.
Whatever you want to do, you have to book like almost a year in advance.
Yeah, yeah.
I would think, especially with RVing, planning all your stops and wherever you're going to go, you got to make sure you got a spot. I mean, it takes a little bit of planning.
I would say if you're younger and you have a smaller RV, because we have friends, one of the 4 women I told you I was in a mastermind with that we did the blogging camp, her and her husband full time, and they have a 26 foot long RV. Okay, so much smaller, and they're younger. So I feel like I freak out if it's a week away and I don't know where the RV is going to be parked. But they'll just be like, if we can't find a place, we'll just pull into Walmart. A lot of Walmarts let you stay overnight, or Bass Pro Shops, a lot of those. And then they'll just get on their little apps on their phone. Like we saw them at the Florida RV Super Show in Tampa, And I said, so where are you guys staying at? And they're like, and this is in Florida in the winter. Okay. It's booked. All right. And they're like, oh, I don't know. We're parked out in the parking lot right now. And for $10, we can stay the night here. Or we might look on our little app. There's all these different apps and try to find a spot. But the thing is, you can find an open spot for that campground for 2 days and that campground for 3 days. We've got this big old thing. We don't want to hook and unhook and move.
Yeah.
So you can find last minute, but you got to be flexible. And we're just a little too old and spoiled for that.
Yeah. I think we're with you because
the thing is, you guys have that gigantic rig too. So
yeah.
And I don't know. I would just feel weird staying in a Walmart parking lot unless I really have to. I don't know. I guess it'd be okay. They have security. Like,
yeah. It's so big. We take up so much space. Yeah.
Right.
I'd have to have the cameras around if I was going to be out there and all that stuff. I'm sitting here. I had gels on and my nails broke, so I'm sitting here picking off the gel from my nails. I need to get my nails done. But yeah, I'm with you. I want to plan. That's how I am. I want to plan things out.
Well, you have to.
You know, and but even just in general, because I know, was it last year that we were trying to just do a tent kind of campground, which is not my thing, and at all. But I'm not a camper in a tent. But we tried. I was going to do it just so the kids could have the experience of camping. We could not. It was like we were trying to plan it, what, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time?
Yeah, all the campsites are filled up.
Completely. Could not find one. I called everywhere. I did everything.
But again, this was like, oh, let's go next weekend. And it was like,
yeah, it was like 2 weeks out.
No, you're going to have to book it at least 3 or 4 months out.
Yeah.
Especially for weekends. Because like I was saying about our friends,
in summer,
they can find places during the week. And then on the weekends, they would have to go camp, stay overnight, like at the Walmart or different places.
They had to get out of that spot because it was already rented.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not going to see Alcatraz next month.
We still might.
We're going to go down there, see what we can do. But I did book some of the other tourist things. But again, it's finally going to be one of our long weekends. We're doing a 4-day weekend, which we haven't done in a while with all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
But we also have dogs, so then we also have to board the dogs when we go.
When we first started, we had 2 dogs and a cat.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always tough, too, finding a place where we could bring our animals. Because even campgrounds, some of them don't like we had a chow. And we also had a military working dog who they're both, considered aggressive or restricted breeds.
Wow.
So that was
restricted breeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of breeds do they restrict?
So like chows, all kinds of shepherds, pit bull mixes, Rottweilers,
Doberman.
Those dogs that scare people, even though they were like the biggest babies.
Yeah.
They were like the biggest babies, but they scare people. They look scary or they bark. It sounds scary.
Right.
And so, yeah, some campgrounds for insurance purposes won't allow you to stay. But there are sites like GoPetFriendly.com is dedicated to camping and hotel places that you can stay at with all types of animals.
Wow. Cool. So the one thing I wanted to mention, I probably should have said this before too, and I got to start mentioning this in our on all of our videos and stuff. Is we got a PO box.
Yay!
We finally got a PO box.
Oh, awesome.
So I got it. I'm starting to try to put it down below, but if anybody wants to send us any mail, you can send us to our PO box. But God, this has been great. You guys are like so full of so much information. I think that we did get through everything. We
got all of our questions.
I think we did get all of our questions.
Maybe even a couple extra ones.
You did. You got in some. So what's the one place that you haven't been to yet that's on your bucket list that you've got to get to?
Oh, there you go.
Every national park.
Yeah, the bucket list is super long, but I think my biggest highlight next year that I'm most excited for is it's not just one place, but it's one area at least. We haven't booked it yet because it's going to be like in May, I think, but it's around is it Yosemite that's in California?
Yeah.
Yosemite.
Yeah.
And then the big Sequoia, Kings Canyon. There's like 3 national park things that are in an area where I was looking at. We could maybe camp here and take like day trips.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I want to see these tall trees, you know, and all the pictures I see of Yosemite just like knock your socks off, right?
Well, now you got to watch out because I mean they've had wildfires up there too.
I know.
So.
That's that part. That's where we need to take the kids because we have not. I can't believe Ian's 15 and we have not gone camping yet.
I know, and I really want to take him to the giant redwoods, the sequoia.
Yeah.
Those, they're so awesome. I remember when I was a kid, we went there, and the hiking. You know, you hike around those things, and they're just these huge trees. It's amazing when you're there. When
we were kids, my parents were, you know, with 4 kids, and you know they didn't have great incomes, so we did a lot more camping because that was just more affordable. So I do remember having fond memories of camping as a kid, even though I don't know why I'm just not a camper now. I became arachnophobe, and it's part of my whole bug spider thing. If there's
dirt and bugs, she doesn't want to be anywhere.
Nobody wants me there either. The last time we went with a tent, I literally took bug spray and I sprayed the whole tent site. So, and then I wound up sleeping after that. I still wound up sleeping in the back of the Sequoia. At that time, I think we had a Sequoia. I think it was something like that I slept in. But we got to take the kids because I do remember, you know, going several times when we were kids.
But again, it's one of those things where, okay, we're going to take the kids whenever I'm going to be off work.
And during the summer.
Can we book it 6 months in advance?
No, you got to book it a year in advance.
Which it's hard to plan.
That's what they're saying. You got to become a planner.
Yep.
So, and I do want to add one more thing, since you're saying that you don't like tent camping, and we mentioned that renting an RV is a great way to go. There's a couple ways you can rent an RV. One is there's RV dealerships, or people have seen like that Cruise America, the RV that's got it painted. That's one way to do it. And another way to do it is there's 2 companies. One is called Outdoorsy and one is called Camp Panda. They're kind of like Airbnb for RV rentals. They're owned by people, and these companies, Outdoorsy or Camp Panda, both of them, they're like brokers. So you go on their site, outdoorsy.com or camppanda.com, and then you see people like either in your area, or say you want to go to an area and have a one that's already set up. You can look like in that area. So, you know, you put in like the city and state of where you want to go. And there's all different types of RV to rent. So you're renting them from a person, and you're actually getting I think a bigger selection that way. And these people, they have a camper, they deliver it to the campground for you and set it up for you.
Oh my gosh.
That's what we would.
Experience of kind of RVing without having to do the driving, or maybe you don't have a vehicle that could tow it, but you want to try the travel trailer of the 5th wheel. I would encourage you to look at Outdoorsy or Camp Panda, and I can send you the links for those. If you want.
That would be perfect.
I want to put them in the description box. So if you can, some of this stuff, we'll write it out and I'll put it in the description box from you. But that's what I need, because we did try also, because of the camping, we also tried to see if we could rent an RV last year. And, but it was really pricey. It was really expensive. I think it was the one one of the ones you said, was it?
Cruise America.
Cruise America.
They're expensive.
Right, and it was very little that was available because most of it was booked, and whatever was left was just too expensive for us.
It was more than staying at a hotel.
It was. It did wind up.
Yeah.
And then they go by miles, so we were gonna drive to go visit your dad. We were gonna try to.
Yep.
And God, that sounds like really neat to have it all set up for you.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have a clue how to set up. You know, the first time. Yeah. It would be a good vlog.
There are some good RV things about newbie mistakes.
Classic Gomes vlog. That would be that. Which brings me, I know we're way over. I've gone way over with the time, but it's probably late there. But that makes me think of, what was it like the first time you got in and drove yours out then?
Oh yeah.
The driving wasn't a problem. It was the parking that was a nightmare, and I think we almost got divorced. Parking it.
So the backing in. When we had pull-throughs, the first several ones we stayed at were the kind that you can pull through.
Right.
We were good. It was when we had to back in, like I'm directing and he's backing in, and so we have walkie-talkies, and what was coming out of my mouth is not what was going in his ear.
That is so us.
I just knew we're going to like run over. We're going to back into this tree. I mean, it was like so stressful. I walked away.
Left me.
I just left him. I just walked to the back house, sat down in the women's bathroom, and was just like, I can't deal with this. And luckily, a neighboring camper guy came out and said, I know how those wives are, and backed him in.
Oh my God, I know how those wives are. That's funny.
And then after that, I kind of chilled out, but that was the hard part. Yeah,
I could see us totally like, I would just storm off. I would leave. Yeah. I'd go get in the car and go.
Yeah,
that cracks me up because I remember one time we went to one of those. I forget, what are they called? Not psychiatrists or therapists, whatever, for marriage counseling. And I remember him saying, because we've been married 32 years, I highly recommend it for anybody. Because I remember him saying that at the very beginning, the first thing he did with us was like, you know, Tim said something, and then I had to say what I heard, and then I said something, and he had to say what he heard. And it was completely different. It was like, so anybody watching, that take that note right now. If you're young and married, that we don't speak the same language. How did he make us? I remember how he taught us to get over that. It was, I had to start saying what I said and then saying, so Tim, what did you hear? He had it so down packed. He would be watching TV now. I would say something from the kitchen, and he'd just not even take his eyes off TV. And he said, you said blah, 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 blah.
I would just catch the key words. It was like trash next week.
He wound up practicing and getting it right down after that. Yeah. But it was, I remember it was an eye opener as far as that goes.
I will tell you one thing, Marie. You said you have arachnophobia. Not many people know this, but I'm deathly afraid of moths. So
really?
We're camping, and what we call camping, and we still get bugs in our RV, and Julie has to kill all the bugs and spiders.
And frogs.
And frogs.
One time he woke me up at like 3 in the morning. The cat woke him up dancing around because there was a frog about this big in our bedroom, and he wakes me up. Julie, there's a frog. So I had to pick up the frog and take it outside, and then I came back in, and he was like, you're impressive, woman, or something like that.
Well, I would think that with camping, especially with camping, there's got to be moths everywhere. Because, I mean, people are lighting campfires, and they're moths.
Yeah. So I'm the moth killer.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll wake up. I will wake up and have like night terrors over spiders. And and it's funny because we live, you know, in suburbia here, but yet we have had snakes, tarantulas, scorpions in our house. Then we've had roadrunners come knocking at our door.
Coyotes in your neighborhood.
We have tons of coyotes all the time. Coyotes are just
we had big owls. They would sit on the
huge owls.
Oh, nice.
But the roadrunners were cute one day because I didn't know that we had them, and they came in a pair too. And they just, in a very systematic way, went to the door of everybody's door, came out, went to the next door, and they just went all the way down the street, going up to the door like if they were doing ding dong ditch.
But we had a sign that said no solicitors, so
they left.
It was like, and then I remember when we first moved in. Remember we had a possum in the backyard with our dog, like nose to nose with the dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, we still get a lot around here. But yeah, when we bought the house, I didn't know we were going to have all that.
We had bears a couple blocks away.
Yeah, bears. Oh, wow. Yeah, one got hit by a big truck on the freeway like 8 years ago. Yeah. We don't get them too often. And then last year there were a mom and a baby bear that were just roaming on the streets, going in people's trash cans. They showed it at a couple of the stores coming out when people were going out to their car. Wow. I think it happens whenever we have big wildfires. It just pushes animals down. Our neighbor had a bobcat in their backyard. Just jumped the fence, went into because they had a swimming pool. That's one thing that worries me about the swimming pool, because it does attract the bobcats down here. But yeah.
Cougars.
So then that makes me even more a little bit nervous on the camping. That's why I need to have the safe RV.
Yeah.
So, but thanks so much, you guys. This has been great. I know we went really long and it's really late, probably where you guys are at. And because I know it's 7 o'clock here. Normally we only go 5:30 to 6:30, but we had so much to talk about.
Yeah. Well, I've been following you for a year, so it was so exciting to like actually get to speak to you.
I know. This is great. So we definitely
really enjoy your guys' channel, so we love watching it.
Thank you. Thank you. And likewise here for sure.
Yeah.
So when you guys are out in California, you're gonna give us a call.
For sure.
And we're gonna try to hook up. And thank you so much for coming on. We'll make sure for anybody who's watching this now or watches this later, go down in the description box. It probably won't be there. Go ahead. You always like to imitate me. So box because Julie will get me all the links and everything. And tomorrow morning, if they're not there tonight, I'll try to add all the links of a lot of what we talked about down in the description box. Plus, Chickery Travels link to their channel and their blog will be down there so that you guys, I know I keep doing this, so you guys can go follow them, go check out their blog, the blogging camp, their books if you're interested in that. We'll be putting all those links below.
And also, this week I'll record the video on Pinterest for YouTubers.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
That'd be great.
That'll be awesome for sure. I'll be sharing that with everybody because I want that Pinterest. That was great information. And then don't forget, now we, the Gomes family, Unapologetically Gomes, officially have a P.O. box. Yeah. So if anybody sends us any fan mail, postcards, we'll read them on air. We'll love all that stuff. So we do have a P.O. box now down there. So thank you so much. Did you want to say anything before we go off?
Just we really appreciate you guys having us on, and we really like watching you guys. And keep up the Sunday trivia. I like the Sunday trivia.
We do.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
we're definitely going to keep doing that. That's fun.
We're going to be doing that some more too. And maybe one of these times you guys can come on and do some of the trivia with us. Because I noticed like whenever we're talking about a lot of the same shows, you guys are like right there with us on some of the same shows when we do the TV trivia and things like that. Yeah. We just need some ideas on what kind of trivia to do next.
Yeah, we'll find some.
Yeah, maybe we're thinking maybe doing some 80s music trivia.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'd be fun, right?
Kill it.
All right.
So thank you again for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll talk soon, okay?
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, let me hit this.